Hey guys, Rob here with McDojoLife. Today we're going to check out a guy who blocks punches with his feet. Let's watch it, then let's break it down. Before we get to all the reasons that technique won't work and it's complete horse crap, let's talk a little bit about the guy. Now, his name is Richard Van Donk. Now, Richard Van Donk is a 15th degree black belt in what's called Budo Tai Jutsu, which I probably pronounced horribly wrong, and I don't care. Now, Budo Tai Jutsu is an art that's taught in the organization called the Bujinkan. Now, Bujinkan, what most people would consider ninjutsu, right? It's run by a gentleman named Hatsumi Sensei. Now, the organization itself is super duper strange because they have some very odd things. Just to name a few, one, Hatsumi Sensei has done demonstrations where he grabs swords and teaches people to disarm swords with their bare hands. I've seen multiple demonstrations like that. He's also done these demonstrations where he'll take these live blades and run them across his face and not be cut magically. That's because they're not live blades. Another thing that they do is something called the Saki test. Now, the Saki test is one of those things where they want you to sit on your knees and face away from the instructor. It's their 5th degree black belt test, by the way. And you're supposed to sense when the instructor is about to crack you on the head. The only problem is they kind of get to pick and choose who they really want to succeed in this test because you can't have magic voodoo powers in which you can sense things are about to happen to you. The real way they should do that test is let somebody have a stick, follow you around for the day, randomly pop out and crack you in the head when you're not suspecting it. That would be the real test. Now that I've said all of that, let's go ahead and get down to this video a little bit and break it down, okay? So, as you can clearly see, the Bujinkan have a very odd way of punching when, I've seen this a lot, by the way, in this particular organization, where as they punch with their rear hand, which would, most likely be considered like a cross or a reverse punch, they actually step forward with that back foot. So their back foot becomes their lead foot, almost like they're trying to spear the person rather than actually punch them, which will generate absolutely no power whatsoever. Now, when this is happening, you can see that he brings up his foot almost like an inside crescent kick, and he hooks the guy's the inner elbow of the guy's arm, and somehow magically is able to drag the guy down to the floor with just his foot. That is complete horse crap. As a matter of fact, you're probably better off in that particular situation just front kicking, or for you Muay Thai people out there, using your teep to kick them in the chest. You have all that time to think about where you're going to aim this kick. I would probably not put my money on trying to grab their arm with my foot and throw them to the floor. That's not going to happen. I don't care how long you've been training. We could play that game all day long. You will not win that. You might as well just kick them in the chest or the stomach or the leg or literally almost anywhere other than the arm. It's like the lowest percentage chance of you actually getting somebody to fall down. All right, so let's go ahead and keep this train rolling. And then so as he goes to set up one more time, he does the same thing. He does that step, and you kind of get the feeling like, oh man, maybe he'll this time kick him in the chest or the stomach. Nope, he outside crescent kicks his arm, and somehow magically that winds up between his legs using his ninja magic abilities. And then he kind of tweaks his arm in a little bit more of what would be kind of like an arm bar with his legs. And then, of course, he falls down because, ouchie, that hurts my arm. The problem is the odds of that actually ever getting there and that ever happening to you are little to none because that's ridiculous. And my favorite is every time he does it, he kind of does a little walk-off. And that little walk-off always seems just a little smug, which is kind of funny. And then finally what you see here is the very last technique. He does the exact same thing one more time, stepping forward with the same foot that he's punching with, which generates no power. The guy does that outside crescent kick one more time. He pulls him down to that same particular arm bar, and then at the end he gives him just a little stomp, and then again the smug walk away, as in he's like some type of ninjutsu god. I'm sorry, but this kind of stuff as a PSA is why I do this. You should not try to block punches with your feet. One, they're in a very odd range of combat. See, when you're punching somebody, you're typically closer. You don't typically start from far away and then lunge awkwardly with both sides, with one side of your body stepping forward, your right hand and your right foot at the same time. It's ridiculous. It's going to get somebody hurt. I definitely suggest you as a martial artist take the time to analyze what's going on here and make up your own mind, right? Obviously, I'm not doing every video this guy's ever done. I'm not saying that everything this guy does is hot crap, but I am saying the organization is very shady with some things that they do, and I'm saying this particular technique that he's working on is horrible and will not work. So, thank you all for the likes, comments, shares, subscriptions, and all that other crap. Keep the martial arts legit.